Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to be talking about the day of Tarweyyah, or it's my reflections about day of Tarweyyah. And we know that the day of Tarweyyah is the day that we go to Mina to get ready to go to Arafat the following day. So it's a very special day and it has so many meanings. The first meaning that I read about it is that Tarweyyah, it's coming from Rawiyah, or how to quench the thirst. So here is where, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ and afterwards, they used to drink a lot of water or carry on with them as well a lot of water, because they know that in Mina and Arafat there's no um, access to water in that area. So this is one meaning of Tarweyyah, and it comes from, again, supplying themselves with plenty of water or quenching thirst somehow. The other meaning that I read was Tarweyyah coming from the word tarawwa, or, like taking time or thinking, in length. So that starts with Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. That's when he got the dream, or got the command from Allah in a dream that he would sacrifice his son. And of course, this is such a difficult, can you imagine, like this is such a difficult thing to comprehend. So Sayyidina Ibrahim needed his time to think about it. And Tarawwa took his time to think about, oh, is it a command, or is it a whisper from, Satan, or is it coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So he took his time and he definitely got the command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here are the two meanings of Tarweyyah that are stated. Maybe there are other meanings, but these are the ones that I reflected more about. And in the second one, of course, from the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim, here is where we learn that we need to take our time to reflect if there is something that's drastic, that is absolutely, we cannot comprehend what it's about. We need to really take our time. Of course, we're not prophets. We're not going to get those type of dreams, but at the same time, it's a lesson for us to reflect on what we need to make a decision about, or how we need to proceed with certain big drastic measures like that. Now, the first meaning, and this is the one that I would like to reflect on more, because it just seems so suitable for how we're preparing for Hajj. We know that the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Hajju Arafah. So Arafah is the Hajj, is the core of the Hajj. And knowing why it is so, it's an amazing journey. It's amazing. So let me take you on a journey of the day of Tarweyyah, how we prepare for Arafah. Back then, they prepared with, again, plenty of water and supplies to take with them. But at the same time, they also prepared in different ways. And here is where it's very important to understand how to prepare for Arafah on the day of Tarweyyah. So let me share my screen with you. Just a few pictures, and I'm a visual person, so I like to have visual ways of explaining, or just at least what I imagine so it could look like. So here on the day of Tarweyyah, okay, they were supplying, getting water, making sure that their camels and sheep are drinking a lot of water and so on. Of course, nowadays we know that there's plenty of water in those areas. There's plenty of water in Mina and Arafat. And as you keep on going, you will find that water bottles are given to you everywhere. So it's not just a matter of water. So let us look on what is it that we need to prepare other than the supplies, the physical supplies. So the reason here that I reflected on this is because I felt there is so much that we need to prepare for Arafah Day, and the way that Arafah is so significant and it's the core of Hajj. What does that mean, and how can we prepare for it? So You come to Mina on the day of Tarweyyah, coming from a place of comfort that you were in, either in a hotel or at home or somewhere where it was comfortable. And here now you're in a camp, and you're in a place that you're not used to. You're with people that you don't know. You're meeting probably for the first time, using things together, sharing things together that you normally don't share with other people. Even the bathrooms, you're sharing bathrooms with people, and in a state that probably you don't like to share. But here you are in this place, in this space, and being as if you're going back to basics. You're really going back to basics. You're sort of like removing all the material attachments that you have, and all the thoughts of how are we sharing things with people we don't know, preparing yourself, like being I want to say, for the preparing for the day of judgments. You don't know who you're going to be with, what you're going to be sharing, how you're going to be, and so on. So here, 2022, we have plenty of water, we have plenty of supplies, but again, we're preparing ourselves spiritually for the day of Arafat. So how can we do that? So one of the things that I reflected upon, so we read Quran on that day, we reflect on those verses that we're reading, we're making supplications all day long, during prayers, after reading Quran, even as we're sharing meals, doing supplications all along, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our Hajj for, like what's coming next, what's coming in the following day. Being grateful for everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has requested us to do. Here is this slide is just, like the reflection of the story of Ibrahim. And here where, again, in the day of Tarweyyah, again, we want the patience. We want to take our time to reflect on all of those things, and not just, like the supplies or whatever, but want to take our time to reflect on why we are there, why we are preparing for this journey, why are we preparing for Arafat. And preparation is really getting ready. You're getting ready to I'm going to say this, and getting ready to meet Allah on the day of Arafat. So how can we be ready to meet Allah? You want to fill your heart with forgiveness for other people. You want to, because you want to be forgiven, you want to make sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forgiving you the following day and accepting you for who you are, and for you to be reborn again. So here you're forgiving others that you probably carried certain things in your heart from. You're filling your heart with gratefulness. You're breathing gratefulness in your heart, forgiving, reflecting, reading, supplicating, accepting, gratitude. All of those words kept on coming to my mind. How are we preparing for the day of Arafat on the day of Tarweyyah? How are we quenching our need, for to be ready for that day? You're equipping yourself with all of this spiritual readiness to be connected at a different level with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're reflecting on that day as a way of setting ourselves free of, probably the guilt that we've carried along with us, from anything that we've done, that we've hurt somebody, and or we carried, sin that we know that we've done and we've carried with us many, many years. So getting ready to set ourselves free from that guilt as well, because we know that when Allah forgive us, this is how it's sort of like setting ourselves free, like we're, as I like to say, resetting this button to be forgiven with the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for us to be reborn again, because we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be there on the day of Arafah, meeting us. He invited us to be there in Hajj, and he's going to be there meeting us, accepting us, forgiving us with his mercy. We are filling ourselves with gratitude, purifying our intentions for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake. We're getting ready to, again, forgive and be forgiven, preparing our minds. And this is something that is, again, so crucial in the day of Tarweyyah, getting ready to shift our minds to work in a different way, shifting that mindset, of our normal default patterns that we were going through. But here is where we're shifting that mindset to work differently, to be able to always have that intention of purifying our intention for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and cleansing ourselves from everything that happened before and starting new. So imagine if you are starting your life new, what would you do? What kind of goodness would you make? Or would you accomplish? Or would you apply in your life? You're given such an opportunity. Can you imagine an opportunity to reset your life again? How can you prepare yourself for that moment, resetting your life? You see, so, everyone is there in Mina on that day, preparing for that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Arafah, to be forgiven, to reset their lives again, to make sure that they're starting new, with new intentions, with new ways of living. So it's an amazing opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us for the Hajj. Great opportunity to carry with us, to have this open door and to enter and to take that opportunity and make sure to just manifest it and be the best version of ourselves. So this preparation to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the day of Tarweyyah. And here is where it's very important to know and to understand that the day of Tarweyyah is the day of preparation, the day of quenching ourselves with all kinds of different feelings and emotions and readiness, for that huge meeting. We get ready for all kinds of meetings in our work and our families and so on. How can we get ready to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And this is sort of like a small example of how to get ready to meet him in the day of judgment and the day of resurrection. So again, I hope this helps for you to, this would help you to reflect as I'm reflecting on this beautiful day. And inshallah, next time I will be reflecting on the day of Arafah and how it really affected me so much and affected the people I was with, and my partner in Hajj was a beautiful partner. And, we shared a lot of emotions, and it was really a beautiful day. Thank you.